Atal Bihari Vajpayee, India's man of destiny, chosen leader of Asia's dream cabinet by Asia Week magazine, world statesman, also poet and philosopher, enigmatic yet charismatic. Atal, that is firm, rock-like, decisive. Bihari, the one who ventures towards new frontiers, dares to discover the unknown. In other words, the decisive visionary, one of a kind. It was therefore most appropriate that such a man should have assumed the leadership of the world's largest democracy in the cusp between 2 centuries, 2 millennia.
मुझे विश्वास है कि भारत के अनुभवों से साबित हो जाएगा कि लोकतंत्र विकासशील देशों में स्थायी और दीर्घकालिक आर्थिक विकास का आधार भी बन सकता है। इसी मार्ग को भारत के लोगों ने चुना है और आज मैं आपके सामने इसी नए उभरते भारत के प्रतीक के रूप में खड़ा हूं।
As its Prime Minister and tallest political leader, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is steering India towards a new era, which should see this 5,000-year-old civilization regain its place in the top league of the world. And Atal Bihari has taken up this challenge as his mission. As he said in an address to the nation on 31st December 1999, a few hours before the onset of the 21st century.
The closing decades of the 20th century have fetched a bounty of opportunities. New vistas have been opened up by discoveries that could not have been imagined even 20 years ago. With such talent and resources, we can excel as a nation. We must seize the opportunities of the coming era to emerge as a mighty nation whose strength shall lie in her achievement, excellence, that shall be our watchword. Let us make the new century an Indian century.
Behind that amiable visage and fabled moderation as a politician lies a determination and decisiveness that is rare. Atal Bihari's goals are clear. His vision for India brooks no compromise. So, brushing aside the hesitation which prevented past leaders from propelling India into the nuclear club, Atal Bihari took that decisive step on 11th of May 1998, within 2 months of assuming office as leader of a coalition government. Over time, India has demonstrated that it is a responsible nuclear power.
Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range.
It was with this sense of renewed confidence in India's destiny that Atal Bihari Vajpayee took the dramatic initiative to resolve the age-old conflict with Pakistan. In a highly acclaimed attempt to cast away the cobwebs of mistrust, he travelled to Lahore to signal a new era in Indo-Pakistan relations. In doing so, he gave practical expression to his own conviction, his own poem.
भारत पाकिस्तान पड़ोसी, साथ साथ रहना है। प्यार करें या वार करें, दोनों को ही सहना है। 3 बार लड़ चुके लड़ाई, कितना महंगा सौदा। रूसी बम हो या अमेरिकी, खून एक बहना है। जो हम पर गुजरी, बच्चों के संग न होने देंगे, जंग न होने देंगे।
Alas, that was not destined to be. Even as the people of India and Pakistan rejoiced at the prospect of peace initiated by the Lahore process and celebrated Atal Bihari's bold gesture, diabolical forces were at work, determined to scuttle India's security and tranquility. Pakistan Army regulars, along with some mercenary merchants of murder, launched a surreptitious offensive along the line of control in Kashmir's Kargil sector, in the most inhospitable of terrains. Under the determined and inspiring leadership of Atal Bihari, India fought back and, in an epic 50-day conflict, routed the forces of disruption, regained every inch of Indian territory that had been dubiously occupied by the enemy. The tricolour today flutters atop every hilltop that had been seized by Pakistani forces and their surrogates. In the process of repulsing this unprovoked incursion, Atal Bihari cemented India into a determined, patriotic nation, giving a new meaning to nationalism in our times. Demonstrating rare statesmanship and courage of conviction, Atal Bihari decided against crossing the line of control, making it plain that while India would not tolerate any infringement of its territory, it did not want the conflict to escalate. Responsibility has always been Atal Bihari's watchword. Long years ago, in a poem titled Padosi Se, Atal Bihari wrote,
धमकी जिहाद के नारों से हथियारों से कश्मीर कभी हथिया लोगे ये मत समझो, हमलों से अत्याचारों से संहारों से भारत का भाल झुका लोगे ये मत समझो, कश्मीर पर भारत का ध्वज नहीं झुकेगा, स्वतंत्र भारत का मस्तक नहीं झुकेगा.
That is the determination that governs India's policy today. Even as the Prime Minister has taken a bold initiative to invite Kashmiri militants for talks, he has made it plain that the state's status is not negotiable. It shall always remain an integral part of India. Yet, he feels the pain of the havoc wreaked by terror on innocent people. The poet in him is agonized by the suffering of the people. That is what made him appeal to all concerned, not to set preconditions for a dialogue to end terrorism in the Kashmir Valley. That is what led him to seek a dialogue within the parameters of insaniyat, humaneness.
Attempted acts of terrorism in the guise of jihad carries no conviction. We and the international community reject the notion that jihad can be a part of any civilized country's foreign policy. None should doubt the determination of the people of India to safeguard the secular unity of our society. Together we have defeated all such challenges in the past and we shall do so again. We have the means and the will to eliminate this menace.
In recent years, India has been bruised by organized terrorism from across its borders. The most dramatic expression of this ever-present threat was the hijacking of an Indian Airlines plane to Kandahar in Afghanistan in the concluding weeks of 1999. Although handled with deftness, causing minimal harm to the hostages, the hijack came as a grim reminder of the gigantic global manifestations of the scourge. Atal Bihari Vajpayee has been uncompromising against cross-border terrorism. He has relentlessly attempted to make the world conscious of this danger to the security and prosperity of mankind. In international affairs, he has endeavored to emerge as a messenger of peace, yet an untiring crusader against terror. As he said in his address after the release of the Kandahar hostages,
Surely the time has come for the world to confront this evil, to act in concert and crush it. The battle against terrorism can be won by all nations acting together, by outdoing the terrorists in patience, in technology, in strength, in intelligence. India shall join hands across the nations to rid the world of this crime against humanity. Let this be our first resolution for the new century.
Prime Minister Vajpayee has made new beginnings at home and abroad. It is a measure of his efforts that India's voice is now heard with growing respect internationally. Shaking off the legacies of the past, India and the United States today march together in a new partnership, a relationship that was firmly set on course during President Bill Clinton's 6-day visit to India in March 2000. Putting a stamp of permanence on this new equation, President Clinton told India's Parliament that India and America were natural allies.
Two nations conceived in liberty, each finding strength in its diversity, each seeing in the other a reflection of its own aspiration for a more humane and just world.
आपका आगमन दोनों देशों, जिनमें स्वाभाविक रूप से सहयोगी राष्ट्र बनने की सभी संभावनाएं मौजूद हैं, उनके लिए एक नई सदी में एक नई यात्रा की शुरुआत है। इस संदर्भ में हमें अमेरिकी कवि वॉल्ट विटमैन के भावप्रवण शब्दों को याद करना उचित होगा। विटमैन ने ये उल्लेख करते हुए कि भारत की यात्रा केवल यात्रा ही नहीं बल्कि उससे भी कहीं अधिक महत्व रखती है, भारत पर लिखी अपनी लंबी और प्रशंसा भरी कविता में हमारे दोनों देशों के लोगों का आह्वान किया था। उनका एक छंद ये है, सेल फोर्थ, steer for the deep waters only, reckless of soul, exploring, I with thee, and thou with me, for we are bound where mariner has not yet dared to go. मुझे उम्मीद है कि भारत की आपकी यात्रा यादगार साबित होगी। हम आपको याद रखेंगे और हमें उम्मीद है कि आप हमें याद रखेंगे।
When history evaluates Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure as India's helmsman, it is sure to describe him as a statesman, reformist, nation builder and visionary. The process of economic liberalization has gained breathtaking momentum under his direction. Sector after sector of India's hitherto closed economy has been open to private capital. Foreign investment, in many cases amounting to 100%, has been allowed to speed up growth. Till a few years ago, India was one of the worst networked countries in the world. Today, its telecom links are of international standard, and rapid strides are underway, both in basic and cellular telephony. Communications being central to Atal Bihari Vajpayee's vision for India, it is not surprising that his dream project is a network of expressways connecting all metros across India's vast expanse. New cars have already given India's roads a new look. Soon the cars will be traveling along roads they deserve. The turn of the century has heralded the new economy, and India is lucky to have a visionary at its helm, a Prime Minister who has not only unshackled the economy, but also made information technology India's new mantra. The IT revolution is receiving unprecedented support from the government, with India taking rapid steps towards e-governance and drafting laws to facilitate e-commerce. Atal Bihari Vajpayee takes a deep personal interest in the promotion of the IT industry, and under his leadership, India is poised to achieve the target of $50 billion software exports by the year 2008. With Indian talent dominating the software industry worldwide, globalization has acquired a new beneficial meaning. In his Independence Day speech on 15th August 2000, the Prime Minister again laid emphasis on bringing the IT revolution to every doorstep, so that it does not widen the existing cleavages in Indian society. This concern for making information technology an instrument of growth and social equality makes India's IT policy a model for developing countries. After decades of restless slumber, India is daring to dream again. It dreams of standing tall in the world as a powerful, modern, economically vibrant nation. One man has made this dream possible. He leads the way to making the 21st century the Indian century. With Atal Bihari Vajpayee, India resonates to a new vision, a new anthem. In his own words,
हार नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिटाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं।